The holidays are just around the corner, and that means plenty of gatherings with friends, family, and even coworkers. And here to add a little style to holiday parties is a design expert, Day Kornbluth. Good morning, Day.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I should have said good day, Day. Where do we start with decorating for the holidays?
Well, actually, the most important thing is to start early, which, we're in good shape there. The more time you give yourself to prep, the more fun you can have with setting a table, and then the more fun it is to have everyone over. Every day in One Kings Lane, we launch new pieces, so I tend to just keep my eyes open for inspiration, some special item that will inspire the tone of the table or ideas about color palettes. This table actually has a non-traditional color palette, which I love. It's not your sort of red and green for the holidays. We started by mixing metallics, so there's a bit of gold and silver mixed together, which I think is fantastic. And then we played with jewel tones, so this lovely eggplant colored glassware, and then the rich navy napkin. And then we actually added a touch of black to the table, which adds a little bit of contrast. And I love that because it sort of takes the table from being formal to fun and fancy, but not so stuffy.
Yeah, and it almost adds a little modern flair to it, too. I think so often we sort of get hooked in just using the same decorations that we have year after year because it's tradition. Where do you suggest we come up with those centerpiece ideas? Because the flowers you have there are just beautiful.
Yeah, I think to your point, we all have our family china or our everyday dinnerware that we really have to pull out in the holidays because we don't always have service for 20. So the trick is to think about focal points for the table, like a centerpiece, or items that tie it all together. So in this case, our centerpiece is hydrangeas. I like to just pick one color and stick with it. It sort of grounds the table. And I also like to think about height. So this is a pretty statement piece, but then on either side we have these brass candlesticks at varying heights, which means that people can make eye contact and have good conversation across the table, which is really important. The other thing going on in this table, to the point about pulling it all together, when you have, let's say, 20 over for your holiday dinner, we think about how do you take all the different pieces and make them look like they're part of one cohesive festive fete. So this season we partnered with notable names in entertaining and food, and we designed this great series called Delectable Designs. They're actually disposable paper placemats and runners. So this fantastic set of gold patterns is $25 for a set of 50. So you can actually take all of that different dinnerware, even put it on the kids' table, and it really pulls it all together. And then the best thing is at the end of the night, you can just throw it away. Don't worry about the mess.
Beautiful. So where do you get those?
OneKingsLane.com for great ideas like all of the ideas we spoke about today and new products every day. OneKingsLane.com.
That's great. You mentioned the kids table. That's something that we love to have at our family get-togethers is kind of the kids table. Sometimes we all sort of like mix it up and some of us adults go at the kids table too. But are there certain other ideas that you have for a kids table to make it fun and sort of special for the kids to sit separate?
Well, I think actually the toughest part about a kids' table is getting the kids to stay at the table, at least in my family. So my trick is actually just to put crayons on the table. Again, this is sort of like the upscale version of those restaurants where they get to draw all over the table. It's paper, so they can draw on the runner, they can draw on the placemats, and then again at the end of the night you can just throw them away. And it means that the adults can kind of sit back and relax and not worry about jumping up and down when the kids' attention span runs a little short.
That is a great idea. Crayons on the kids' table on those disposable mats. Okay, one more time, Day, give us that website so we know where to get them.
It's OneKingsLane.com.
All right, thanks for being here on the Morning Blend.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy holidays.
Absolutely, you too. All right, and stay tuned. We're going to have your responses to our sound off question we asked you right after the break.